Is there a time limit on tags? Because I know I'm super late for this. But anyway, let's get into it. Welcome back to Junior's Music Corner. If this is your first time, thank you for joining us. All right, so about a month ago, Dylan over at Nova Records put out a new vinyl tag. It was a summer vinyl tag. I'm pretty late with this. I saw it when it first came out, but I had just done a tag, and I wasn't sure that I wanted to do it. So this video is inspired by Daryl D's summer vinyl tag. He said it was a way to show some different records. So let's get into it. All right, the tag consists of 20 different questions, and I'm going to try my best to answer them all. All right, so question number one is an album or a song that has the word summer in it. All right. And of course, off top, first thing comes to mind is Jeff and Will with Summertime. And then Childish Gambino's Feel Like Summer came to mind, but I don't have that album. So the one I went with was the Dove Shack, Summertime in the LBC, which was first released on the show soundtrack. And a week later, the Dove Shack's debut album came out, which also featured the song. And the Dove Shack was a group put on by Warren G from Regulators fame and, Dr. Dre's younger brother. Great song. Not too long ago, we lost C Knight, I believe, to a stroke. So RIP C Knight. But Summertime in the LBC was a great song. Still to this day, can put that one on and be jamming. So shout out the Dove Shack, Summertime in the LBC. All right, number two is your latest heavy pull. And for that, I went with Scarface's The Last of a Dying Breed. This was released in 2000. I believe this is Scarface's sixth solo album. I caught this for a nice price. It's kind of pricey out there. People that have it want to hold on to it. It wasn't one of his best selling albums, but it was critically acclaimed. It was a nice album. So shout out Brad Jordan, Scarface, Last of a Dying Breed. All right, number four is a Whack-A-Mole album. I guess it's to, randomly grab an album and talk about it. I know pretty much what's where in my collection. So I had one of my sons come in and grab a random record. And of all the records he could have grabbed, he grabbed Hanging Tough by New Kids on the Block. Old album. When I was young, this was a very, very popular album, produced by Maurice Starr and Five White Kids from Boston. And to me, they were a white new edition. Same producer, music similar, and they shot out of the stratosphere. Very, very popular. Not much to say. These guys are still touring and doing their thing. I don't hate this album. When I was a kid, I liked it a lot, and there's still a few joints up here that I like. So this is my Whack-A-Mole album, New Kids Hanging Tough. All right, my bad. That Whack-A-Mole was number three. Number four is an album with an animal on the cover. And I went with Earl Simmons, DMX, The Dog. This is a Grand Champ album. This is DMX's fifth album. Grand Champ means five-time champion. This was his fifth platinum album. DMX could not miss when he was coming out. And this was a good album. A lot of good songs on this. You got Where the Hood At, The Rain, the one with Monica, and which was Don't Gotta Go Home. There's the version on DMX's album, to me, was not as good as the version that's on Monica's album. There's a lot of breaks in the beat in the song on DMX's album, and Monica's version is straight through, which was great. But this is my choice for album with the animal on the cover. DMX and the Love for the Pit Bull. RPX. All right, number 5, an album with a great story. And for that, I went with the NWA and the Posse album. I chose this one, and the story behind it is a lot of people like to think that this is NWA's first album, when in fact it was not an NWA album at all. Um, the company that Easy and them would press up records and get distributed through was Macola Records. And when NWA started to make noise, Macola took NWA songs and some Dre produced songs and other songs that they had and compiled them together and released it as NWA and the Posse. When in fact this album cover was actually taken from NWA's Panic Zone 12-inch, and Macaulay just took the same picture and added songs to it and called it an NWA album. But this would be considered the first NWA album with Panic Zone, 8 Ball, and Dope Man. So RP Easy, shout out NWA. This is still a great album. Easy later bought the rights to this, and it was released through on Ruthless, but at first it was released on Macola. Guys trying to get some cash. So shout out all them boys. All right, number 6. An album that you'd be surprised is in my collection. And I went with Mr. Burt Bacharach. This is Reach Out. Didn't grow up listening to Burt Bacharach, or maybe I did unknowingly with all the songs that he's written. Very influential songwriter. This album, me and my wife were riding, and saw a sign. It was this little thrift store on the side of the road, and they had a sign on the road that said they had records. So we stopped in, and this was in there. I bought a few records from that guy, but this was in great condition, and I bought it on the strength of the song "What the World Needs Now," "Love, Sweet Love." And shout out to Mike Myers and the Austin Powers movie. That was actually the first time I heard that song, 1997.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Burt Bacharach.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
And I loved it. So when I saw this and I saw that song was featured on this album, I picked it up. So RIP Burt Bacharach. World needs love still. All right, number 7 is Cheap Heat. For that one, I went with Davina, and this is Best of Both Worlds. Davina was an artist back in the day. She was one of the only female and R&B artists to be signed to Loud Records, which was a predominantly hip hop label. You had the likes of you had Big Pun, Exhibit, Wu-Tang. This was her only album with them. It didn't sell well, but that doesn't take away from the greatness of this album. Solely produced by Davina. Her first single was a song called So Good. I don't remember what soundtrack this was on, but when I first heard it, I loved the beat, loved the melody, loved everything about it. And there was 2 remixes. I don't know if they was like a East Coast, West Coast remix, but one remix had Exhibit on it, and then there was another one that featured Raekwon, both Loud Records artists. But Davina. And Best of Both Worlds. You can find this album still under $10. It's mellow, like a jazzy R&B, and I was just listening to this. Really, it's still good. So this is my Cheap Heat, Davina. If you haven't heard it, check it out. Grab you a copy. Like I say, you can find a copy under $10 in great condition. Shout out Davina. All right, number 8 is Show 45 or an alternate another format. So I went with Tempted, and this is Erykah Badu and James Poyser. This is a cover of Squeeze's Tempted. Dope. I love Badu. You can't lose with Badu. This is actually taken from Squeeze's singles album. I love Badu. This was a limited run. I picked this up from somebody for $10, and great song. Shout out Badu. All right, favorite music documentary or biopic? I went with a biopic. That's gonna be Straight Outta Compton, the story of NWA. This was dope. Out of all the biopics that they've done on rappers, this was probably the best produced, best directed, best out of all of them. A lot of them they come out and you're not impressed with it. And I don't know if it's because a lot of these guys are still around, and you got some good input. And F. Gary Gray's a great director. This is of course the Steelbook. There's a director's cut up here, which has a lot of scenes that were left out of the theatrical version. So I was pleased to see that. Great movie. Not many people have seen this that don't like it. So that's what I went with. Straight Outta Compton. All right. Number 10 is to show a box set. I've got 2 box sets. This is the GZA's Liquid Swords singles box set. This is not open. This actually sits on top of all these records. This was dope. When this came out, it was big. I copped this for the low, and I was actually holding it. I thought about maybe one day using it as a giveaway for the channel. But there's 4 7-inch records in here, and then you've got artwork for each album. This was dope when it first came out. I know there's a deluxe version of this that was a lot nicer than this one, but shout out to GZA. Liquid Swords, classic album. All right, number 11 is your most trashed album in your collection. That's gonna have to be this copy of Curtis Mayfield, Superfly. I had a copy of this album, and on my cover, the die cut, the Superfly poster part was ripped off. So I bought a cheap copy of this album to basically replace my sleeve. And when this arrived in the mail, I could already tell from the box had a crease in it. So I didn't have my hopes up. But when I pulled the record out, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a crack in this record, which renders it unplayable. There we go. Right there. And that happened in shipping. Other than that, it wouldn't have been a bad record. It was a little dusty, but got to be more careful when shipping records out. I did end up replacing that one. I bought a reissue of it. Showed this record a few times with the gold pressing. Classic Curtis Mayfield, Superfly. Can't lose. RIP. All right, number 12. Show a local album. Not many. I guess if I had some Hootie, I know those guys went to USC, but I went with Lil Rue. I believe I showed this record before, or one of them. Lil Rue is from a small town called Ridgeway here in South Carolina. This is a locally produced and local record label here in South Carolina, or at least was. I'm not sure if they're still around. Funny thing, I actually got this from Noble Records. I actually bought this from Nova Records, Dylan's shop in North Carolina one weekend when me and my wife rode up there and found this digging in his dollar bin. Tell you about that dollar bin. If y'all haven't seen that video, go check it out. I do dig the dollar bin. So this is exclusive from Nova Records. But shout out Lil Rue. Still doing his thing nowadays. Shout out South Carolina. All right, number 13. Show a record from a faraway land. This one I thought hard on because, you know, you've got records that are issued in different countries, but they may, you know, the ones that I was thinking of, they were also there was always a version released in the US. So the one I went with is Milli Vanilli. This was the Arista release version. I know it's not a popular album and Milli Vanilli sucks and all that blah, blah, blah. But before this album, there was this album, All or Nothing, never released in the US, strictly released in Europe and other countries, and it was wildly popular. Like I said, I spent time in Germany, and of course, this is a German release. Vanilli, All or Nothing. This was the only one I had that was from a faraway land. Old school. It includes Super Poster. I know all of y'all are jealous and you want this. But there's even still has the poster in it. I don't knock these guys. I just watched their biopic not too long ago. Wasn't that bad. Like I said, I was a kid when this came out, and we loved this music. Like I said, I was in Germany, and it wasn't bad music. If it was, then millions of people wouldn't have bought the album. But scandal is a scandal. So this is my From a Faraway Land album. R.P. Rob Pilatus, and shout out to Admiral. 14 is Show a Soundtrack. Another one from my childhood. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I love the soundtrack. This movie was a favorite of mine, and Pure Imagination is one of my favorites. So I love to put this on. My daughter loves this as well. This is an original copy. I know that they recently reissued this on gold vinyl. It's on Amazon, and I thought about buying a copy of that to be able to protect and hold on to this one. I wasn't really paying this soundtrack any mind. There was a video I was watching, and I forget the name of it, but it was a bunch of producers, and they were going around and they were asking each other, like, what are you listening to? What are you listening to? And one of the guys was like, I'm listening to the Willy Wonka soundtrack. And he talked about it, and I was like, you know what? And when I went back and listened to it, I was like, I guess it's a great soundtrack, musically fun soundtrack, and Pure Imagination is one of the best songs ever. So it's my soundtrack I chose. Shout out Willy Wonka, RPG Wilder. All right, 15, your highest recommendation. Out of my records, if I were to suggest an album to someone with kind of a universal where anybody could like it. I know a lot of people won't like everything that I like, and that's cool. I'm glad. But I have to go with Masego. Musically, this is a great album. This is a Lady album. Masego is jazzy. There's elements of hip hop, there's elements of reggae. It's great music. So I believe that anybody who listens to this album will appreciate it, regardless of the type of music you like. There's a great instrumentation in here, and just great music all around. So, shout out Masego, the Lady album. All right, 16, the highest on my want list. Of course, the highest on my want list I don't own. But gotta go with Ghetto Boys. We can't be stopped. OG Copy. One of the albums on the top of my want list. One day I'll get it. For now, they want a little too much for me, or a little too much that I'm willing to pay at the moment. And also a copy of Damian Marley's Welcome to Jamrock on vinyl. Never reissued, and it's pretty up there. So I'll go with that. Ghetto Boys but Can't Be Stopped, and Damian Marley's Welcome to Jamrock. All right, 17, a channel shout out. Gotta go with my brother, Daryl D. All things Daryl D. Great page. I love the content. He shows a lot of records that I won't say familiar with, but that are in my zone, my realm of music that I like. A lot of hip hop, a lot of R&B, and great content, man. If you haven't, go check out Daryl D's page. He's got a lot of good stuff up there. He's got some older videos that you can run through. Lots and lots of hip hop. Even now, he's going to the park jams and stuff like that. So, shout out Daryl D. A silver lining in the vinyl community. I think it's good. I think that it's people are able to connect with other music lovers, people with the same music taste, and people with different music tastes, and learn about different artists or different songs, different music. I know there's a lot of drama, but there's a lot of drama when it comes to anything, and but I think it's a great way for people to connect and share their love of music. Shout out. All right, number 19, a steal of a deal. All right, so one day I'm online, what I call digital digging, searching for records, and out of nowhere I see Common's Like Water for Chocolate album, which is my favorite Common album. I think I've got 3 copies of this on CD, but when I saw the record like for sale, and I know I hadn't seen it for the price that I saw it, and so I immediately threw it in my cart, hoping like it wasn't a scam. But I guess it was a reissuing, and at the same time there was Cube's death certificate. So I threw both of those in the cart and checked out quickly. And I'm glad I did. You can still find Cube's death certificate, but if you want this album now, you are going to pay for it. And I could say it was a steal of a deal because it was the average price for a new record, between 20 and 30 bucks. But like if I hadn't bought it when I did, I'd be paying between $75 and $100 from someone else who did. So I'm glad I picked this up when I saw it. I'm glad I saw it. And to me, this was a steal of a deal. If you have not heard this album, check it out. To me, this is Common's best album. This is my favorite Common album. There's Dilla production. There's great production on this album, dealing with the Soulquarians, and Common was growing with this album, but he did his thing. Shout out Common, Like Water for Chocolate. All right, coming to the end, show a promo record. There's been a lot of NWA in this, but this is NWA. This is Express Yourself, and this is a promo, Ghost Stamp promo. Not much to say about this. You got Express Yourself extended mix. You got Straight Outta Compton extended mix. Cubes, A B is a B, and you got bonus beats. So shout out. It's funny when I look at these old NWA album covers. Everybody's always chilling, but Cube, you can tell like something's not right. Cube's not feeling it at all. So, but he's just chilling. So shout out NWA. Shout out Cube, Yella, Ren, Dre, RP Easy. All right, that is going to do it for my attempt at this summer vinyl tag given by Dylan over there at Nova Records. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. If you have not, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and until next time, peace.